Dire side, we have Esports Gaming Team. Now, neither of these teams are very well known.
10 seconds
but
remaining.
I'm just casting this game. Don't give me that. Anyways,
Dire team
Radiant bans out the classic Bounty Hunter Gyro to start off, and Dire banning out the ever popular Leshrac along with Undying. After this, Radiant picks up their first pick, Coddle, which isn't very common, but if you can use Coddle to just relocate your carrier around the map and give Coddle enough room to farm, you can just take over games by himself.
10 seconds
Dire responds
remaining.
with AA and Winter Wyvern, which is presumably their support
5
duo.
seconds remaining.
And the Winter Wyvern especially is a very
Reserve
strong
time.
pick in this meta, because she can just initiate from a really far range with an AoE. And with Winter Wyvern you can combo it with like a Darkseer or any sort of AoE, since all the enemies in that are clumped up. You can use it especially with a hero like Ancient Apparition, as long as he lands his Ice Blast at the right time. And even if he doesn't, they won't take all the Ice Blast hit damage, but they'll all
Radiant
be
team pick.
affected by the Shatter, just in case. After that, Radiant picks up the Lina, which can be run as a support, a mid, a carry, an offlane, pretty much anything. Lina's definitely one of the best heroes in this patch by far. Just her burst damage is just insane along with that attack range. After that, pick up Dire bans out the Shadow Fiend
Dire
and Phantom
team
Lance. They're
pick.
both very strong heroes in this meta. While Radiant bans out the Techies and the Bristle. Techies being very good on its own or with Tusk. And this might mean that Radiant tries
Templar
to
assassin.
dodge lanes
Radiant
to try to
team pick.
prevent that, and Bristleback obviously really good against these low armor heroes of the Radiant. After this, Dire picks up the Nyx, good offlane hero, good mid hero sometimes. And then 30-minute Midas picks up the Earthshaker, which pretty much indicates that this is a core Lina probably, seeing as offlane Earthshaker is good but can be zoned out pretty well by
10
these supports.
seconds remaining.
And then Esports Gaming Team responds
5
with TA.
seconds remaining.
And TA versus Lina is a very weird matchup. If TA can stay with her
Reserve
refraction
time.
on, then she should have no problem against the Lina, and it'll just be a free farm lane. But if her refraction gets chipped by the Lina from range and Lina has a really good creep block, then TA basically just has to go to the woods. There's not much she can do in the lane. So we'll have to see if she can we'll have to see who can control the lanes in this matchup, because either one of them can really snowball to victory here. Lina having her high burst damage and TA having her high base damage along with her refraction. Let's see if she'll try to go with conventional meld build or just try to use side blades and farm it up. Because Radiant seems like they'll have decently weak lanes as long as it's just a regular defensive tri lane. But if Shaker ganks mid, then TA can just easily be killed. Oh, 30-minute Midas going with the Spectre pickup
Dire
as their
team
carry.
ban.
It's a very greedy pick. A defensive tri-lane of Coddle, Shaker, Spectre doesn't really phase any sort of offlaner, especially a Nyx. Like Nyx with
10
his
seconds
Spike
remaining.
Carapace and his high
5 seconds
HP
remaining.
regen, he's not really going to be affected by this tri-lane. However, if the game gets late enough to where Coddle can just pull Spectre and Spectre can haunt
Radiant team
and
back.
be anywhere at once, that's a really good combo. And Dire banning out the Darkseer 5th, obviously having really good synergy with the Shaker and the Lina. Not really much the Spectre, but Iron Shell Spectre still
10
does a lot of
seconds
work
remaining.
if left alone. And Radiant banning out the Terrorblade, since Dire
Dire
needs their
team
carry still. I don't think they were going to pick Terrorblade, but you never know. Not too many heroes are still in the pool. You still have like an Ember Spirit or something that could easily be picked up here. Maybe like a Medusa if they want to match late game for late game. Maybe even something more mid-game oriented.
10 seconds remaining.
And obviously 30-minute Midas probably needing their offlaner unless they pick
5
up a
seconds
support to
remaining.
combo with the Coddle other than the Shaker. Yeah, Dire just
Reserve time.
looking at their pick screen, trying to figure out which carries going to be best for them, because they themselves banned out the PL and the Gyro is already banned, so that's the top 2 heroes of this meta for the carry position. Could even go for something like a Quap, because Quap destroys all of the heroes on Radiant. It's kind of an all-in pick since you have to get stuff done early, but you can pretty much solo the Quap against whoever the offlane hero is too, and just rotate the supports. They go with the Void pick, which has really good
Radiant
synergy with
team
the
pick.
AA. Even the Winter Wyvern, if you can get off a good Winter's Curse into a Chronosphere, that can do a lot of work. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Void and TA don't have that good of synergy, to be honest. Radiant responds with the Phoenix, which is a really good offlane pick as long as it doesn't get shut down early on. But going back to the Void in TA, it all depends on the Chronosphere placements. If the Chrono's good, then TA can wreak havoc, but if it's anything but optimal, then TA really can't do much with their limited range. But Radiant really don't have any sort of like direct stunning before. Like, they don't really have any sort of jump, to be honest, before Shaker gets his blink. And if Shaker gets his blink before
10 seconds remaining.
at a good rate, then that probably means that Coddle is going to be a 5. Anyways, have a pause coming out, or not. Let's get to introductions. On the Radiant side, team 30-minute Midas, we have Tusser or TUSR on the mid Lina, Brockness Monster on the safe lane Spectre going 4-man shield, Nkos on the offlane Phoenix with his shared ward and ring of protection build, Hammer on the presumably position 5 Shaker, and you have Demigod on the support Coddle. On your Dire side, presumably going to smoke up, we have team EGT. We have Knots on the Faceless Void, Wrath on the Nyx Assassin, Scruffy on the Ancient Apparition, Sev on the Templar Assassin, and Elliot on the Winter Wyvern, with plenty of wards in case they want to ward up the jungle. Looks like we have a level 1 engagement as the Spectre gets opened on with Arctic Burn. Good fissure by the Shaker. Void time walks in, but seems like that'll just be the end of that engagement. Level 1 Nyx stun is only 1.27 seconds, which isn't really enough time to do anything. And casual all chat
The
BM
battle
coming out from the
begins.
Spectre player.
Blessings.
Anyways, Bounty Runes going to the mid laners, Lina and Templar Assassin respectively. TA pulling for a bottle early, Lina not really pulling for a bottle at all, going for her own tangos plus a null. Coddle and Shaker both have their tangos, so not really sure why. They both had their own tangos. Anyways, looks like Dire blocked out this camp and have a really good vision ward. And probably should be able to see this Radiant ward, to be honest. And Winter Wyvern just rotating around. And looks like Radiant also blocked the pull camp. Let's see if Winter Wyvern will be able to de-ward that, because she does have a sentry on her. Whereas Coddle and Shaker do not have sentries. It just seems like they're splitting experience 3 ways down here. Meanwhile at the top it's only 2 ways for now, with Winter Wyvern rotating. And looks like he missed on the D-ward. I mean, that's a pretty decent spot to D-ward. It's hard to D-ward the Dire pull camp sometimes. It looks like Dark Green pinged it out, so they should be able to get that soon hopefully. Because that is an Obs ward and that will be there for a while. Looking at the CS charts, Spectre is perfect on CS so far with 8 and 3. While Void isn't getting all of his. That's probably due to some Phoenix harass or whatever. Phoenix already hitting level 2, whereas Nyx also is just hitting level 2. And TA has her bottle leveled up to 3, whereas Lina is still about 4/7, 2/3 of the way to her bottle. Lina hitting an LSA while TA goes for top rune, and Shaker picks up bottom rune. Now Shaker is probably going to roam soon. He doesn't look like he's stacking camps, but neither is Coddle. Coddle's just denying. Not sure why they're just splitting experience down here. But Spectre's getting really good farm for herself down here. But Void's not too far behind. Winter Wyvern's still very much at level 1, only 51 experience points in. But there's one stack here and one stack here. Or no, there's not a stack there. There's one stack on this medium camp, so he's been kind of busy stacking. We'll have to see what the Void goes for, whether it's just a Battle Fury or if it's just a Mask of Madness Maelstrom build. But he is catching up in farm. That might be because Spectre's missed last hits, or just because Void, with his really high base damage, he already has 70 base damage, and it's only in 67 to 73 range, so not like it's high disparity like a PL or a Chaos Knight. And Nyx soaking his EXP along with Phoenix soaking hers. Phoenix 1 level ahead. And we'll have to see what these supports do. And neither of these teams have really roaming supports outside of the Shaker, which probably could be roaming mid right now. But he's just choosing to support his Spectre in lane, and can't really fault him for that. Spectre really needs to be babysat early. It looks like we have an issue up top with probably a cold feet into a time walk. Looks like Phoenix dove and didn't go anywhere with it really. But credits to the AA for using the cold feet. And that Void with his pretty high base damage. It does look like he's going for a Midas with the pulled up 1400 gold. If he gets at like the 6-minute mark, it should be really solid. And nope, he's just going for Treads. Treads also really good on Void. And he has surpassed the Spectre as #1 in the last hit chart. Spectre just with the poor man's and the boots. Probably going for phase boots or something after this. We have Shaker and Coddle. Coddle probably stacking this medium camp. Shaker looks like he's just rotating mid to try to set up a gank. Lina is low on mana, so yeah, not sure what they're going for with that fissure. If Lina's really close to level 6. With a full level 6, they might have gotten that kill, but there's no way they were going to get it with that. On top lane, Phoenix and Winter Wyvern. Just Articuno and Moltres up here, dancing around. Level 4 Phoenix was doing decently well in the offlane before that death, but now there's not really much she can do. Whereas Nyx is already level 5. He was behind a level early, but now he's caught up and surpassed. Not sure why Void's still on strength treads, but that might just be to, if Phoenix harasses, he'll be ready. Winter Wyvern just stacking the woods. Coddle was stacking, and he is stacking some more. I don't know if this stack will connect, but Shaker just doing Shaker things. And that stack did not connect. That's a really hard camp to stack if there's no trees down. I feel like we have an engagement that the lower part of the river. TA initiating on Lina, gets stunned by the Mono Leak. Still very healthy.
Double damage.
Lina with the Fiery Soul giving her extra movement speed, able to get away from the TA, even though she has lower regular movement speed. Yeah, Void has opened up a pretty large lead on Spectre now. Don't really know how that happened. Is this a brushing Radiance Spectre? I mean, Radiance is really good on Spectre, but Boots Poor Man's Shield Radiance probably isn't ideal unless he's just being really next level. Might just give him the benefit of the doubt if it works. We have wards coming out to Coddle. On top lane we just have an urn being built by the AA. Phoenix just sitting around with her level 4. See TA going to farm this double stack and this double stack probably. Yeah, Shaker getting his boots now. I mean, this might just be a straight Radiance by this Spectre. Stranger things have happened. I mean, I don't really know if they'll be able to do anything, because even with just a Radiance, that gives 0 health, and 0 armor, and 0 stats. It gives some nice damage, some nice just burn damage, and it allows her to farm really quickly, but if TA has a Deso and Void has any item, that's not going to be a happy Spectre. We see Lina picking up her treads, or in an illusion rune. TA getting just a wand and phase boots. We have Nyx hitting level 6, so he's in Vendetta, going on the Shaker. He almost has enough mana. There he goes. He uses his Mango, but Impale range is just pretty awful. Especially since it's ground targeted now. Or when it used to be hero targeted, it was a bit better, but TA diving for the 4 armored Coddle, Shaker fissuring. We may be able to get this kill on the TA, but once again Lina doesn't have that much mana. I feel like this Lina just needs to go back to Fountain or something. That's second or third time that she would have gotten a kill, but had we see a Void rotation. He looks like he is going for the Mask of Madness, or just a casual Morbid Mask. And nope, it is a Mask of Madness. So Void definitely does a ton of damage in his Chrono. He's a bit low on mana since he doesn't really have a wand or an Aquila, but if he can tread swatch, it shouldn't be any sort of problem. Yeah, Spectre just pulling up her gold. If you look at the CS chart, it's very you have carry, mid, and then just a bunch of other heroes. If you look at the net worth, it's pretty much the same story. Ancient Apparition dying on the top lane to the Phoenix, didn't really see that one coming. Looks like Void might get the return kill though, because Phoenix does not have a dive out. Oh, he's salving up though, and he gets the bash. But they should just be able to take care of the egg. Level 1 Supernova, only 5 hits to kill. And the slow is pretty much nothing. You know, he has level 3 spirits. It's not that good. It's why Midas is a very often item on Phoenix, just to hit level 11 as soon as possible. Like I was saying, even before that death, Ancient Apparition doing pretty well. I mean, compared to Radiant heroes at least. Already hitting level 6 compared to the level 3 Shaker and the level 4 Coddle. I mean, this Spectre though, just pulling up the money. Only 0 of that is reliable too, so if she just gets ganked, a lot of that's just going down the drain. We'll just see if Radiant can pick that up with their next Chrono. Especially with the Mask of Madness now. They might not even see her as a threat, to be honest though. Because they might think, oh, she's just farming, which she is. I mean, they don't see any items coming out, so they might not think it's that big of a deal. Looks like Radiant, or Dire's grouped up at the top lane, around the Void. with TA just farming. Look at the last hits. Void still on top. And carry, mid. And then nothing. I mean, neither of these offlaners are really. Oh, Ancient Apparition dies again. Looks like that was just Phoenix dive plus the fissure again. Ancient Apparition, even with huge strength gauntlets and the tranquil boots, still a very squishy support. Looks like Dire might want to gank the Spectre now though, with Nyx being in his Vendetta and TA on her way. About 500 short of her Blink Dagger. They should be able to get a kill on the Spectre if all goes well, but she just realities away. Yeah, level 1 Vendetta is not that long, or else they probably would have been able to get that kill. But it's only 20 seconds, which pretty much gives you time to pop it, walk 5 feet, and then do something. So on the bottom lane, Coddle getting off the Monolith on the TA, but not much is just happening down here. Just a bunch of back and forth. Look at the net worth chart, just pretty much same story. Even for this net worth, pretty even on gold and experience. See the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast and a huge, wow. See a huge Caudal Illuminate wave into Lina stun, nuking down the Void and the AA there. Level 1 backtrack, just plus the Mask of Madness.
Tower is under attack.
Not much to do there. The Spectre still is farming, despite having 0 assists and 0 kills, and having no items. She's somehow still third in net worth. But Void still has his chrono up, so let's see if Dire can force anything here. I really feel like they probably need to soon. I mean, TA close to her, Blink and Void doing Void things. They should be able to force. But Radiant has a really good stalling lineup with the Caudal and the Shaker and the Lina and the Phoenix. Just Shaker, Caudal, Lina. You can't really push waves that well. Lina going for the signature Eul's build. Not sure why she's leveling Fiery Soul over her stun though. But could just be more DPS. See initiation on mid lane. Nyx initiation. They commit the chrono to it. I mean, that's kind of worth killing the Lina, but the Spectre had Haunt up. If she had mana for Haunt, then that might have just been turned around, but Spectre with the Relic. It's not going to be too poorly timed over Radiance, considering the circumstances, but
Dire's top tower
it's also
is under attack.
just a boots poor man's shield Radiance. But anyways, see Nyx picking up his arcane boots. And Phoenix just with Wand, Urn, and Tranquil boots. It's decent Phoenix items. Oh, Void just farming. Looks like he's going to go for a straight Aghanim Scepter. Which is, it's a pretty good build, but he doesn't do damage with it. He's relying a lot on his TA and open initiation mid lane. Going to have the TA basically showing off the Blink Dagger and getting 2 easy kills on the Shaker and the Lina. And the level 1 Supernova forced out. Which, as always, level 1 Supernova doing level 1 Supernova things. We have a disconnect by the Lina, followed by a pause. Some classic all chat. Maybe Lina was having some issues in that fight right there. Who knows? Looks like Spectre's getting low. What is she getting low to? Seems like she might just want to back out. Phoenix being taken care of. Just Phoenix things. I mean, she's pretty tanky, or it's pretty tanky, but without a... That one pause might have just caught him off guard. See TA going in on Shaker mid. He has Fissure up, so no, he won't die to that. If you look at the gold swing, it's back 2,500
Radiant's middle
downwards.
tower is under
Now
attack.
1,000 with Radiant. We have a Spectre initiation on in, but we have the backstab by Nyx. It's done. See if Spectre and Phoenix can try to get 1 or 2 kills here. Should be able to finish off the Nyx, and the TA is just here. Doesn't have the, we don't have the Radiance yet, and just the blink away. Plus the refraction. Urn does take down refraction, which is really nice, but oh, you have the Lina here. This should just be a kill. Without the Lina, it probably wouldn't be, but then again, Lina just giving up on it. I guess there's not much they can do about it, but I feel like with a max stun, they could have gotten that. I mean, who knows? We have Ancient Apparition with some reconnaissance duty, planting this nice ward down here. Doesn't have a TP, but should be fine as long as he makes a decent exit.
Dire's
have a
middle
nice,
tower is under attack.
nice 4 wards here. Just providing this whole area of vision
Dire's
for the
middle
Dire.
tower is under attack.
Looks like we have a backstab on the Spectre. Just nice kill for the Nyx. That's really, really well played by him, seeing the Spectre with low health. But a return kill by Lina, just using her full nuke arsenal to nuke down the poor Winter Wyvern. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Not really going to do much, but good warding off. Looks like Caudle is going for a mech, even with Tranquil Boots, still a good pickup for Caudle. Shaker being a poor Shaker, obviously Winter Wyvern being almost as poor. It's a pretty even game, even besides the cores. It's like on bottom lane we have another initiation with TA and Nyx going after the Caudle, but Radiant keeping their whole team in, and having sentries, and having dust, which is really nice. Alts, and this whole team fight is pretty scattered, to be honest. I am a low level caster. I do not know what all is going on. This fight. Just a bunch of heroes throwing spells at each other, hoping to get a kill. And TA is probably the breadwinner in all of this, to be honest. Because with the hectic fight, and Caudle, Shaker, none of these heroes actually hitting the TA can pretty much do what she wants. Especially when Phoenix does stuff like that and just gets herself killed. Pretty much just TA skating around the fight. I mean, I'm not going to say Radiant was powerless there, but when you don't kill the TA, she's just going to kill you. She was the big breadwinner of that fight. That fight was pretty much 4-on-5. Void didn't even farm. Or Void just was farming throughout that, and he almost has an Ags. Once he has Ags, then 60-second cooldown on his ultimate. The only problem is that he doesn't really have the mana to support it. Being used that often. So we'll have to see if he goes some sort of build after that. We have another initiation bottom lane, Lina using Yules to dodge the Ice Blast, but just getting nuked down by the TA anyways. TA with a ton of damage going for the Deso build. And Lina with her 5 armor. There's not much Lina can do there except have better backup. And Shaker's still not level 6. He's nowhere near a Blink Dagger. It's being the hard 5 Shaker, which means they don't really have a jump. Even Phoenix is still level 10, so Supernova isn't going to be food.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I have a Spectre Haunted. Just Spectre with the Radiance getting a kill on the Winter Wyvern. It's pretty good, but in the bottom lane, we have TA running from Shaker, who already used Fissure.
Dire's middle tower
We see
is
Lina
under
TPing
attack.
in, trying to get something, and she'll probably just get the AA. And she does. And
Radiant's
Dire's
bottom tower is
courier
under
decides
attack.
to join the fight.
Dire's middle tower
Barely
is under attack.
survives. We have a nice Chronosphere by Void. Or to get some sort of kill on that. I feel like it probably could have gotten 2 kills, but at this point, they're just willing to get whatever
Dire's
they
bottom
want.
tower is under attack.
All this is without Spectre haunting in, really. And she has decent farm. We'll have to see what she goes after this.
Dire's structures
She tries
are
to go for a
fortified.
Manta or a Heart or Boots of Travel, even. Who knows? See,
Radiant's
she
top
picks
tower
up the
is
Fit
under
Booster,
attack.
so it could be casual, could just be straight Heart, depending on which route. See, bottom lane, Caudle gets hit by an Ice Blast.
Dire's
Tard
bottom tower
gets
has
killed by the
fallen.
cart, and Caudle stays too long. Meanwhile, Spectre just gets solo killed by TA because TA has a Deso now. TA might just pay for that, but with Refraction, she goes in. Refraction gets killed by the Lina, but she uses her ult on it, and TA does TA things. But Shaker hits level 7, you know, just gives her a little shake. Yeah, Winter Wyvern using her ult to kill off the Phoenix. Very well played. And Lina with ping issues. And I can't check ping in game, but looks like she might have a little bit of ping issues. But I mean, that is a very well used excuse. I mean, if you're not playing well, just blame the ping. The Spectre haunted onto the Void, but Void jumped away and can TP since they don't have anything to cancel TPs between the two. And AA is just going ham in chat on this Spectre, or Lina, or whoever.
Dire's middle
Probably
tower
Lina.
is under attack.
I mean,
Dire's middle
if this game's
tower
boring
has
for
fallen.
AA, just shooting Ice Blasts. There's plenty of time to all chat. Anyways, Void picks up his Ags, doesn't really have the mana
Dire's
to
middle
support it,
tower is
but
under attack.
who knows? Maybe he'll just get to the fountain a lot. Or just get bottle charges from TA, that works too. It's like, might have a clash here on top lane, Lina Illusion scouting up TA. Void going in and chronoing his TA, but might not even matter. Gets off the good chrono, but turnaround is there with Lina and her initiation. Nuking down the TA without refraction as well as the AA. Radiant turning this fight around. Earthshaker getting a ton of gold off the TA kill, picking up a Blink Dagger somehow out of nowhere. And Radiant very well turning this game around. That fight, if Void would have died, it would have been a catastrophe for Dire, but still, Nyx's nowhere to be found on that fight, even with the Blink Dagger. I mean, Dire still have the top 2 heroes in net worth, but this Shaker Blink, it could be a huge issue for the Dire team.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Looks like we have Void TPing in, gets Chrono back up, uses it on the Shaker. Should be just a routine kill, except he doesn't have damage, but TA there to clean that up,
Your death was a sin.
and Nyx will be the trade, but they get a nice 2-for-1.
Dire's top tower
And
is
they
under attack.
defend the tower, which is always nice. Yeah, 60-second chrono. That's the good part about it. I mean, it's always up.
Dire's middle tower
Heal,
is
go,
under
heal,
attack.
go. Void jumping in on the Caudle. Caudle can't really do much and just gets blown up by the Templar Assassin.
Violator.
Dire still have a ton of
Thanks.
damage and a decent amount of lockdown with the Void Axe, but all relies on
Radiant's
the
top
Spectre
tower
really
has
for
fallen.
Radiant. Looks like he's going Yasha after his casual bit booster, so stopping off for a bit more movement speed and agility.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Lina going for an Axe for that pure damage. Hopefully she won't use Laguna on the TA too much while she's having refraction, but I mean, it's a good build. Especially with the Shaker having Blink now. Blink Echo will do really well against this Dire lineup. Aglena's trying to catch up to the TA and not having much luck in finding it. TA pretty speedy with her phase boots, plus always having the Blink Dagger. Looks like TA caught up. Plus the Spectre ult forced out. Not sure what that one was really for. Who hears that they could really go on there. Nyx on the hunt in his Vendetta. Spectre probably a bit too tanky, unless they... Oh, there's the Void TP. One Chrono and Spectre's dead. If she goes out into the lane... Well, they saw the Radiance burn, so it's pretty much a given. And the Chrono. Oh, the Radiance miss. Didn't really matter. And the nice Winter Wyvern into AA Blast. Really good combos by the Dire here. Level 2 Phoenix Egg. Probably going to kill off 2 members of the Dire. The level 2 Phoenix Egg is a lot better than level 1, as you
Radiant's top
saw
tower
there.
is under attack.
Just completely turned around that fight. I mean, Spectre died, which is still bad, but they were able to turn around a little bit, despite that. Lina just trying to do something to the
Radiant
TA, but
structures are
she
fortified.
can't really do much with her 4 armor.
Radiant's top tower is
Well,
under
TA
attack.
has negative
Radiant's top
15
tower
armor if she
has
hits a
fallen.
Melt Strike on her. It's not really good percentages for that. Yep, TA going in, but
Spoilers.
she just got too greedy with the backup on Radiant. And Nyx back in Vendetta, trying to go for Spectre, but Spectre has a decent amount of HP and survivability now. It's not heart plus an item, but it's still a decent amount. With Phoenix also being invisible, looks like Wyvern might be bait here, especially with the Lina rotating in. But who's catching who? Nice AA Ice Blast coming in, but a nice Echo Slam too. Just a bunch of ultimates being thrown at each other. Helps it getting kills. And it looks like the Dire comes out on top a little bit, just because of the Lina kill, but fight's still going.
Dire's top
Void
tower
getting
is under attack.
Monolith. That spell just is really hard. With Void going down too. Looks like Radiant won the fight. As you can see, the disparity between offlaners is pretty big. About the disparity between the mid laners. We have the TA going back in, killing off the Phoenix in exchange for the Ancient Apparition. Which means that only 3 heroes survived the whole fight. That's Spectre, the Caudle, and the TA. TA getting pretty massive, probably going for an MKB to stop the evasion from the Radiance, plus she gets the Butterfly, and Caudle just getting picked off by the TA again. Plus they get the initiation from the Winter's Curse on the Spectre, but counter initiation by Earthshaker. They still can't stop it though. Just a whole bunch of fights in this bottom lane with pretty much TA doing TA things. There's not much else to be said about it.
Too close to the sea.
With TA finishing her MKB and having 1,000 gold more just to spend on maybe a defensive item, maybe just a Daedalus. If she goes Daedalus, then 4 heroes on Radiant can just be dead in one shot. Inspector in 2, definitely. The net worth chart was pretty even before that point, but now Dire's going to have a substantial lead off of that, especially with this mid tower. Void going Maelstrom, could be a Mjolnir, could just be casual Maelstrom. Looks like we might have an engagement mid with Kato using his Mono Leak. See if Phoenix can get off a good ultimate, or
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
see if Void could. Oh, but he chronos after the egg. That's not optimal. Plus the Spectre haunted him. Where did? Not sure where she haunted into, but that wasn't optimal. But the Fissure gets the kill on the Ancient Apparition. It looks like Nyx is gonna go down to the Spectre burn. Plus Templar Assassin in the Radiant Woods. Like she was trying to get a pick off on the back end, but all of Radiant's here. That Echo Slam definitely does hurt TA, even with Refraction on. The stuns from Shaker just do a lot of work against her. Just when it looked like Dire had gotten off to a little bit of a lead, they just throw it back away. I have Spectre going for the Boots of Travel now. Which when she gets Heart plus an item, she's just going to be pretty much unstoppable, to be honest. The Lina Axe too. Phoenix with the Midas. Is that a full Shivas? That is a full Shivas for the Phoenix. With Shivas, Void and TA just are not going to be able to hit that egg that often. It really does look like Radiant might have gotten off to a decent lead in this game now. Even with the Templar Assassin snowballing as hard as she is. Because Void Ags is nice, but if you're not finding out with Void Ags, it's not that good of an item purchase. It's like Nyx is just stalking the Phoenix, trying to get some reconnaissance off.
Death and gold are
Spectre getting an ultimate orb, so probably is going to be the Manta. With low mana though, so doesn't have enough for Haunt plus Dagger. It's like she's just farming her woods. Void's farming his ancients. Just a farm fest for now. That could change with Lina. Or could just be a random Spectre ult. See if it's for vision. Yep, looks like just for vision. But I mean, just that one Spectre ult gets 3 heroes down to half on Dire. Dire's timing might be over soon. But looks like TA goes in and just gets Laguna. And Void jumps in. Can't kill off the egg. Stunned by the egg. And it looks like it might be a critical mistake by the Dire trying to force a fight that wasn't there. Even with Haunt down, you still don't want to fight into the Shaker Blink plus Lina spam. It's like Radiant going for Roche, the 2 Dire heroes down. It's like a buyback status, and literally no one has buyback. It's good to know people are saving their money. Look at the Roshan attempt. You have Radiant with no minus armor, no really physical damage, and Roche is not easy for them. And they especially don't want to get chronoed with the 6-second chrono from Void all in the pit. So one good thing about Dire, they have the huge Roshan advantage since Radiant has no minus armor. Okay, Caudle, he's finished up with his mech, but no sort of evasion, obviously. And or Solar Crest in mind. Shaker going for the Glimmer Cape, so no medallion on him either. Obviously Lina doesn't build a Deso and Spectre doesn't, so the Spectre finishing the full Manta, now only 900 behind the TA. Looks like Dire going for Roche too, and they will snag it and get on the TA, followed by a Haunt.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Phoenix jump. And Phoenix gets Chrono before she can do anything. But Dire's just melting to the Radiance burn. With one going down, now the next falling as well. There's not much Dire can do here, to be honest. There's just too much on Radiant. Mages down, let's see if they can kill the TA twice, if she can blink out of it. Oh, she already blinked in, so it's just going to be a dead TA probably. That Midas on the Phoenix is really paying off. That Shiva has pretty much negated the entirety of Void's damage, even with the Mjolnir. That 15 armor
middle tower is under attack.
just does a lot. Void can't even solo Chrono a Phoenix. I mean, it's nice and all that Void has an axe, but there's just no damage behind it. He doesn't have a BKB either, so any sort of stuns just makes it completely negligible. See Dire pushing up the high ground.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Lina presumably building a Hex, Phoenix having a ton of gold, not really sure what gonna build on, and the Void Chrono on 2, or on 1. But there's just not much you can do with it. It's halted by Lina, gets I mean, they do pick up a kill on the Spectre, which is really big. That might just halt the push, to be honest. Not sure why Spectre was still in that fight. Yeah, that might just stop the push, to be honest. Pretty good hold by Dire, all things considered. Void not dying and picking up a kill on the Spectre. Might have just been Spectre overextending. Yeah, they have Echo up, and they...
Yes.
Caudle has his mech. Shaker has his blink and his glimmer. All the Pyros on Radiant are doing really well with their farm. Whereas on Dire, it's mostly just the Void and the TA, and Void has an axe. Which I mean isn't a bad Void item, but he only has 173 last hits. I mean his stats are really good, but his impact this game just hasn't been felt. TA's on for a second, his TA is getting initiated on. They use the Echo, and there's not much you can do. The Shivas plus the Echo and the Shaker counter stun. She's probably going to have to build a BKB. Not sure if she can finish the Daedalus at this point. Not sure if she'll have time to finish the Daedalus. Yeah, with TA going for such a damage-centric build, there's not much she can do about it. Even Winter Wyvern just jumping over the hills to her death. It's like Dire's just getting very... It's like they're just trying to force stuff. Trying to create chaos. I mean, if they can create chaos and get some nice disoriented fights with TA just wrecking face like they did earlier, they still have a really good chance, but I thought their Radiant's playing with their grouping up and just having heroes everywhere. It's a little bit hard to do. See that Lina almost has her Hex, only about 1500 away from that. Shaker with a little bit of farm, and Phoenix going for the Octarine Core, which is an okay item on Phoenix. I personally don't like it that much as a second main item. I feel like if she got like a Halberd or a Hex or something, maybe not a Halberd because of the MKB, but she hexes the TA in Supernovas, that TA can't even hit her. And the Hex, or Hex's Void or something. Maybe even like a, or even Solar Crest wouldn't be good. But a Hex would be better in my opinion, but Soul Booster and Octarine, it's not bad. You look at Caudle, Caudle's getting just dust. Dust for the one Glimmer Cape. Well, I suppose the Nyx too. Nyx finishing up his level 1 Dagon. Maybe would have put it to good use. Uses it on the low HP Caudle before he gets off his mech. Gonna have Initiation in the mid lane. Gonna have Winter Wyvern blown up. Uses Winter Curse on an Illusion. Gonna have Caudle also blown up before he gets his, or he got his mech off. We're gonna have the Shivas just doing absolute work. We're gonna have Lina just throwing out her Dragon Slaves, and this might be a lane of Rax. Look at the buyback status, and
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nyx has it, but Winter Wyvern and TA do not.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Looks like it'll just be a lane of Rax.
Dire's middle barracks are under
And
attack.
Void has his Chrono up, but does he really want to Mask of Madness Chrono into that? He might have to, but the Ice Blast doesn't hit the Spectre.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Just looks like mid-racks are going down here. Octarine up, Octarine core up for the Phoenix, and Shaker finishing a Force Staff. It's like Radiant has everything they really need to end the game if they want to. I mean, Dire had plenty of opportunities this game, don't get me wrong. Once they had the blink on the TA and the Massive Madness treads on the Void, but they just couldn't do anything before Spectre picked up the Radiance. I mean, kudos to the other 4 members on the Radiant to be able to make room for that Spectre though. I mean, even though she wasn't farming that quickly, she was just able to farm and farm. I mean, farming, she only has 1 more last hit than Void, but if you compare the relative net worths of an Axe Void to a Heart Spectre or a Mantis Spectre, it's the Radiance, which they started off with. It's just not really any sort of comparison. Our initiation on the Nyx by the Lina, Nyx carapaces stun, and looks like that'll just be it. Void sitting up 4k gold. He might go for a BKB here, but I feel like if he goes BKB, he just doesn't do damage. She does go for it, but I mean, kind of seems like he needs BKB plus an item at this point, but who knows? We'll have to see. Looks like TA also building her own BKB, but still pretty far away from that one. Caudle going for presumably an Axe at this point. Lina having her Hex up. Might find TA in the jungle, but no, TA just farms the woods. Spectre also farming the woods nearby, Heart flying out, the initiation on the TA, burning their fraction charges, and it looks like it'll just be a dead TA.
Burn, baby, burn.
We're going to see map drawing by the pink player, the TA, accurately saying where the stuff is.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nice Ice Blast coming in top lane, followed in by Void or Nyx TP. But with Sentry down, looks like Nyx is just going to go to his death here. There's not much Dire can do at this point. They have the BKB on the Faceless Void, but to what use? There's not a buyback on the TA since she just bought her Ogre Club, but there's just no damage on the Dire side. They have the Ice Blast and they have the Winter's Curse. They have the Chronosphere, but there's just not enough. Spectre's just too good in the late game. With the Heart, Manta Radiance. She's not even that stacked, but it looks like they might get kill on her or just retreats. even just the Radiance burn, just taking down this Winter Wyvern. Looks like Radiant might just try to go slow and steady here. Might just try to go for the Roshan. And then force up
Dire's
top to
tower
bottom
is
lane.
under attack.
And no reason for them to force anything at this point. Yeah, they definitely have more damage to kill Rosh now, but it still isn't that high.
Dire's
It would
top
take a
tower
while.
is under attack.
Dire scouting it out. Looks like Radiant and Dire both positioned over the Rosh pit. Spectre farming top can always haunt in. Looks like Dire might try to smoke gank the Spectre, which might not be such a good idea. The farmers of Radiant in the woods. Nice Chocobo courier. Very nice. Yeah, the gem on the Lina, so she definitely sees everything. TA soloing Roshan right now. Have to see if Radiant will scout it out. Oh, they will scout out the Nyx. Gets Laguna. Gets used and
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
looks like this might just be a 0-for-0 trade with TA hiding inside the Rosh pit. If she can finish this, then well,
Dire's top
Spectre
barracks
pushing
has
top
fallen.
lane. Somebody has to go defend that.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Looks like TA might be able to just solo the Rosh at this point, but at least it'll be a little bit of an advantage towards the Radiant for that.
Forever.
At least to deny it from the Dire. But still, they lost top range racks for it. Spectre probably could have taken the melee racks, but building damage is building damage. Spectre already up to 3k gold. Lina also up to about 3.5k. Just Radiant pulling ahead by about 18,000 gold. And experience graph pretty much the same. And they're stalling it out pretty well, Dire, but there's not really much you can stall it against a Spectre. Like endgame Spectre will have Refresher plus maybe not Butterfly, but maybe like a Diffusal 2 or a Scotty. Just press R, wait 8 seconds, press R again, and your supports and Nyx will have died. It's just stupidly insane how good a Spectre is. I mean, it's offset by the fact that she's awful early, which Dire didn't take advantage of as much as they probably should have. Like I said, kudos to especially Coddle and Phoenix. I know Shaker did his part and Lina did her part, but Coddle and Phoenix,
Dire's
like neither of
bottom
them had
tower is under
any
attack.
farm early. They were still able to pull it together. Coddle still doesn't have farm, but he has enough.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Just Radiant systematically pushing in. Nyx blinking, missing a stun. But Spectre haunt in and goes Laguna on the support.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We're going to see Coddle being blown up by the Void and the TA. Void. Just Void and
Dire's bottom tower
TA
is
versus
under
Radiant basically. I mean, they're winning this fight somewhat. But when Spectre comes in, there's not much Dire can do about it.
A new age begins.
Even with the Aegis, the Void buyback, just when
Dire's
Spectre
top
arrives, the
barracks are
fun's
under
over.
attack.
It's pretty much it for Dire. Looks like it might be game right here.
Dire's
Top
bottom
pushing
tower
in
is under attack.
a ton. Spectre pushing in
Dire's
bottom,
bottom
probably
tower
going to be
has
mega
fallen.
creeps. Lina going for the
Dire's
Octarine
top
core.
barracks are under
Not a
attack.
fan of the
Dire's
item too
top
much,
barracks
but
has
they're up
fallen.
20k gold. She can go whatever she wants at this point.
Dire's bottom barracks fallen.
Yep, just very creeps. Looks like this one's just gonna be over.
Dire's bottom barracks. The Radiant now have Mega.
Void jumping in, Void dying, Void not getting Chrono off. Last ditch effort,
Dire's
YOLO
structures
plays.
are fortified. Dire's
And the
middle
GG
tower
coming up
is
from the
under attack.
Dire. It's a pub game, they have to finish, but Lina throwing out her casual, really not casual BM, but
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
it just looks like some
Dire's
casual,
middle tower.
maybe
Dire's
fountain
middle
diving,
tower has fallen.
and looks like it'll just be a
Dire's
victory for the
ancient is
Radiant.
under attack.
Monster kill.
Radiant victory.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for the cast, so I'm just gonna stop the stream for now.